Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Preparation Ape, your number one place for getting Shifty. I'm DKP.
Major Tom.
And, of course, we're coming at you live here from twitch.tv/ChainsawApe every single Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And, yeah. What do we got on the Resodox tonight?
We're going to look at this slide until you go to the next one, and then we'll see what's on the Resodox.
Well, fucking all right. We can do that then. There you have it.
Look at that. We're going to talk about the NES Classic being discontinued. We mentioned it last week. That was news that broke on the day that we recorded the episode. We talked about it a little bit in the post-show stream.
Yep.
But in correlation, in connection to this, there are now rumors of the SNES Classic launching sometime this year. So we're going to go into those a little bit. NeoGaf made one of the developers for Rhyme Cry, so we're going to talk about that.
It just sounds so weird when you say it. But anyways, we can move on.
No,
we'll get to it. No.
He cried.
I know.
Did you read the thing?
I did.
It's kind of we'll save it. The Team Shifty, the guys who made Mr. Shifty, which by the way I really enjoyed. I finally finished it. Are telling people to buy it on PC. So, hey kid says hi.
Whoa.
He says, all right. And then we're gonna do a little 28 days later.
Is it really 28 days? Then?
Today is not 28 days later. They announced sales figures 28 days later.
Okay.
So it's basically like a week ago almost. And yeah, that's how we're celebrating our 75th episode.
Okay. And nothing too extravagant, but...
Nope.
And then also, after this, if you guys want to tune in, we'll be streaming Rick and Morty VR, which released today.
Or if you're watching this on YouTube,
check in the archive.
At least for the next 90 days? 30 days? I don't fucking know.
We'll find out.
Let's move on.
Yes, I suppose we shall.
So I'm just going to read what a Nintendo representative provided this, press release to IGN when they reached out for clarification about it being discontinued. Here's what Nintendo said. It said, throughout April, Nintendo of America territories will receive the last shipments of the the Nintendo Entertainment System NES Classic Edition systems for this year. We encourage anyone interested in obtaining this system to check with retail outlets regarding availability. We understand this has been difficult for many consumers to find a system, and for that, we apologize. We pay close attention to consumer feedback, and we greatly appreciate the incredible level of consumer interest and support for this product.
Well, it almost sounds as though they give a shit.
I mean,
but they don't.
They don't. If they did, it's such like a... So they say... They're like, we understand that everyone loves this thing and everybody wants one. They're saying that while they're saying we're not going to be selling anymore.
Yeah.
So why do you think it is that Nintendo hates money?
Because the one thing they hate for are their customers. And those kind of go hand in hand, you know what I mean?
I was listening to a podcast and they had a theory that Nintendo like to have a product that people desire.
That is stupid, but if you're not selling it, what the fuck's the point?
They're selling it. They sold plenty of them.
Okay, but if you're going to stop selling them,
you and I
what's the point of them being desirable?
Because it's a special.
So resellers can fucking have them?
I don't think resellers are baked into their business plan, but the idea
but after you've sold them and you're not making it anymore, whatever the fuck people care about it, what's the point?
Most of us probably took some form of economics growing up and understand this basis, this idea of supply and demand.
Yeah, that's what doesn't make sense here.
I mean, it makes sense if the goal is to create demand. And I think their desire to create a demand for a product outweighs their desire to make money. I think they like the idea of having something that people want that they can't get.
Mike, DKP, everything should be on. Not sure what you mean by that. Let's see. Yeah, no, I'm picking up. So, this doesn't make it makes no sense. Like, there's the whole kind of a fake it till you make it attitude that people who don't have any business employ, where it's almost like, there's this old thing that's talked about, like, people that are going and playing, like, music venues will try to act like they're hot shit before even on their billing, like use manipulative tactics to make it look like they're somebody, right? Yeah. When they're not. Now that kind of makes sense to some degree. Now when you are, it's basically like canceling all your gigs and being like, they're sold out? Well, fuck it, refund everybody. We gotta have... It's like, it makes no fucking sense.
Like a sketch comedy. I can imagine some form of sketch where they're like, all right, guys, we're going to get them real good. We're going to announce that something exists that doesn't actually exist. And we're like, this is the hottest Christmas toy. It's the Nintendo Elmo doll. And everybody wants it, but they don't actually exist. So people are just like searching high and low, calling every retailer, waiting in line for a product that doesn't actually exist.
And they're like, we're going to make millions
of people pissed off at us.
Like, how? Well, we haven't figured that out yet, but the point is, people want it. It makes no fucking sense. I don't know. I really don't know what to say about it. I have a lot more to say when it comes to this in conjunction with the SNES Mini, which...
So what is your theory in conjunction with the SNES Mini?
Well, we have a slide for that, don't we?
We have a slide for particularly rumors. I guess we can go directly into that if you want to.
Most of what else I have to say ties in with the SNES. So,
I've said my piece on it. Okay. I think that they have reasons to do it. I think those reasons are not...
Well, fucking Tommy...
I don't think they are... No,
Tommy,
allow me
Hitler
to finish.
Had reasons.
Allow me
they
to
weren't
finish.
Good ones.
Allow me. I think those reasons are A, not consumer friendly, and B, not very business savvy.
Yeah, I know. But
that's all.
That's like saying, Nintendo exists. Like, sure they do. Like, bad comparison, but like, saying they have reasons, well, no shit.
Oh, probably shouldn't click.
Like, you have a reason for fucking everything. This just makes no fucking sense, though. Anyways, we'll go ahead and move on. Unless...
I think that you can make a case for this making sense. I just did.
No, you didn't, though.
No, I didn't make one that you thought was legitimate.
No, Tommy. It's not about me. It just was not. It just... there is no case for this.
I honestly believe that Nintendo likes to create demand for their products.
See, you're being an apologist right now. To some small degree. And let me tell you why. What you're doing is you're not willing to say Nintendo are fucking idiots. You're saying, what I think they're doing...
Why don't you go...
They're playing 4D chess.
Here's what we're
right here.
What's our timestamp?
What?
16 minutes in. DKP, watch the first 15 minutes of this, and you tell me if I said they made a good decision.
It seems like you just don't want to say that they made a fucking stupid wrong when they're idiots.
I think it's a bad business move, and I think it's anti-consumer.
All right, we'll leave it.
Those are the two things that I said.
But then you padded it with like, look.
No, you said.
I'm sure they had their reasons.
Of course they have their reasons. I'm just not saying that they're smart reasons. Of course they have their reasons. I think creating artificial demand is a reason.
I think it's like an asinine statement, though. Everyone's got reasons for everything they do.
Yes, they do.
Like, okay, that doesn't change the fucking fact of anything.
Yeah, but I think
like, I'm sure that this didn't happen.
Is that they don't have reasons.
That's not quite what I'm trying to say. Because
so what you're saying is,
what do you think, hold on. So you think that I'm inferring that just out of the fucking blue?
Here's what I think you're saying.
They just like went into a coma and did this shit. Didn't think about why or how.
I think that you think it's anti-consumer and that it's a bad business move. I think you and I are on the legitimate exact same page.
That's putting it lightly. That it's anti-consumer.
But being like, oh, this thing is stupid. Like, well, you in sixth grade could have told me that. You in sixth grade.
But you in fucking third grade could have told me. I'm sure when they made the decision, they had some reason why they made.
And
that
I
decision.
provided a reason that I believe that they think that they decided to cancel it.
No, I don't like that reason. Because
it's stupid. It's real dumb. They're real dumb idiots for doing it.
Indeed.
They're dumb.
I'm glad to finally hear you stop apologizing and hear you say it.
I didn't apologize.
You don't
no
have
apologies
to.
Here on James Hype.
Oh, just all Nintendo apologists. I guess those are the only one that's
We
left.
are 15 minutes into this, and we have 4 more slides.
No, we're 10 minutes in, because we have the 5-minute intro. All right, we'll move on.
You're a 5-minute intro.
Bitch, don't you fucking even.
Don't you?
All right, so SNES Classic rumors.
Do you want to jump into the rumors, or do you want to connect your two stories here?
Well, you guys will get the rumors out.
Okay. This comes from Eurogamer. They're the first people to post about this. Everybody's been posting about it since, but Eurogamer was first. Tom Phillips wrote this. It said, Nintendo will follow up its smash hit NES micro console with a mini version of the SNES. Sources close to the company have confirmed to Eurogamer. Sources being plural. The SNES Mini, or to continue Nintendo official branding, likely the Nintendo Entertainment or Nintendo Classic Mini Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Name is confusing. Currently scheduled to launch in time for Christmas this year. Development of the device is already underway, our sources have indicated. Nintendo's plans for SNES Mini are also a major reason why last year's NES Mini did not see a reprieve from discontinuation. What a peb! Last week, Nintendo explained that it never intended NES Mini to be a permanent product. From the company's perspective, the micro console was planned as a cool novelty item, perfect for Christmas 2016, and the numbers in which it was manufactured and shipped were expected to be enough to suit this goal. But NES Mini ended up breaking out to become more popular than anticipated and quickly sold out, leading to a bustling resale market on eBay. So. Go ahead. I don't want to read it. The rest of this is basically reiterating stuff that we just said.
So yeah, dude, fuck this.
So you're not getting one, that's what you're saying.
No, I'm probably gonna get one. We've been over this. Well, yeah.
Because you didn't even make an attempt to get an NES Classic. You just got one as a Christmas gift.
Hey man.
So you're gonna make an attempt to get.
I got an awesome sister-in-law. What can I say? You know.
So you're gonna make an attempt to get this, or are you just gonna?
No, I just figure it'll fall into my lap somehow.
Okay.
No, okay. So look, like, this reminds me of a different like company that kind of what it feels like, not quite what it is, and I can't prove anything, but it's like okay, Maxis was one for a while back. So with the disclaimer or whatever, because it has to do with like The Sims. I used to support The Sims, like back, you know, in like the early teens or 2010s, whatever. And they had this horrible fucking habit of like, all right, we're fucking up. This shit doesn't work. But if we just keep pushing out new shit, everyone will forget about it. And people did. So it's like they fucked up with the NES Classic.
Is that a fact or is that a theory?
Dude, I'm almost certain.
So it's a theory. Okay.
Yeah. I said I can't prove it. But I am almost certain that that's like, was the mindset.
So you never talked to anybody that said that anybody ever did that?
Where there were some communications. I can't do. Should we really get into internals here, like as far as discussions?
No, I just want to make it known that I think that what you're talking about is a theory on your part.
Yeah, well, it is. Like I never had anyone straight tell me like, "Well, tell them they're screwed, and we're just gonna keep pushing out new content so they forget about it." No, that never happened. Not specifically like that.
Continue.
So, yeah, you first of all saying that they never intended for it to be a permanent product. Well, define permanent. Because, you know, would you consider GameCube a permanent product?
Yes.
Okay, so you would consider Nintendo Switch to be a permanent product?
Yes.
When this came out, or the NES Classic came out, did you consider that to be a permanent product?
I did.
And did they have any indication that it wasn't going to be? Outside of... Yeah. So, first of all, that's bullshit. Like,
yes.
I don't think there was any indication whatsoever that, hey, make sure you fucking get it now because this is only a limited time thing.
I want to know why you think Nintendo legitimately discontinued it, not because they're dumb.
Who the fuck knows? That's the point.
What's your legitimate theory behind why they would do it? Why would they do it?
I can't even begin to fathom why.
Honestly?
Yeah. Like,
so you are so like unbusiness savvy that you have no theories as to why they would discontinue a product.
When one, it's selling fucking like hotcakes, and two, you had such a limited run of it, and three, it's bad PR to have never even said in the first place, hey, this is going to be a limited run sort of item. So it doesn't make you money, and it doesn't get you goodwill with anybody. So I cannot fathom why they would do it.
Do you have a theory as to why Adolf Hitler was the lead person behind the Holocaust?
I don't think you need a theory for that. If Reggie wrote a book, or Miyoto's Kampf, maybe then we would know. But that shit's all out there. So that's a weird segue anyways. But like this is like who the fuck knows? Because Nintendo's never going to say anything about it.
Nintendo has said something.
Anything real about it, and they're not going to admit fault. They're not going to say sorry for misleading. It's the same. Their way of saying sorry is saying, hey, we appreciate you guys being fans.
It's marketing.
Hey, fuck you.
Yeah.
So, and for them to basically disappoint everyone by fucking discontinuing it then come on and be like, hey, hopefully you got that taste of dick out of your mouth. So what we're going to do now is there's this other plastic thing we're going to barely sell. Maybe, I don't know, maybe not. I really, like, if one's
you got to vote through wallet.
If one's easily accessible, yeah, because I'm a collector, like, but do I think the business process, dude, what do you mean vote my wallet on this? They're not going to make any. They're all going to be sold out, so it's not going to fucking matter.
But if you see one in a store, don't buy it. If you're that upset with Nintendo making these decisions.
All right, well, perhaps
Put your fucking money where your mouth is.
So what you're saying is, in order to convince them to make more of them, to not fuck everyone over with this shit, I should not buy them?
I'm not saying that you should convince them. I'm saying if you feel strongly enough in your conviction on Nintendo making poor decisions, stop supporting Nintendo.
Oh, it's one
and their poor
it's
decisions.
A zero-sum game. Fuck, I didn't know that. Oh. Okay, then what's your take on it then?
I think the question that Pebev had is a good point. Or I guess it leads into what I believe the whole thing to be, and which is what I talked about earlier. It's a collectible. You mentioned it as well. You're a collector, so you're interested from a collector standpoint. I think it's a limited edition collectible item that is not advertised as a limited edition collectible item. And I think that's their biggest, like, fuck you, is that it is not advertised as being limited edition. Even though it straight is. And now we know that it is.
But that's the thing though, like, I mean, this is all like conjecture, but like, do you think it was fucking planned that way from the beginning? Or do you, like, really? Or do you think that they might have had some sort of manufacturing troubles and just decided it wasn't fucking worth it?
I think that that was how it was planned from the beginning. And I think that their masters in Japan did not do a great enough job communicating that out to the rest of the company, including their marketing teams.
Well, I can't argue with that. I can say that I think that's a bit of an understatement.
Yes.
But I can't argue, but, you know, regardless how granular you want to get with it, it's true. They clearly did not do a good enough job, whether they communicated it or not, whatsoever.
Yes.
It's just like, I don't understand why Nintendo makes it so hard to like them and to support them. You know?
I honestly legitimately
think... That's why this to me, like, isn't a matter of voting with your wallet. I couldn't vote with my fucking wallet in regards to this shit. Most people can't, if they fucking wanted to.
I mean, I think that's fair. But if you get the opportunity to buy one, then just don't buy one. If you see one in a store, don't get it. Say, fuck you, Nintendo. You can't have my $80.
That'll show them. Like, no.
Instead, you're just gonna, like, armchair, like, tell the rest of the world to tell them to go fuck off.
No, there's no. That's the thing. That's the thing that's so frustrating about this. There's no way to tell them to fuck off with this one. It's like if I only made 2 of these, 2 people are gonna fucking buy them, and it's like, and how else can everyone communicate?
Were you this upset when Wu-Tang made one album, like, that only one person could buy?
I was furious.
You were like, man, I want that new Wu-Tang.
And then the AIDS medicine dude got it?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That being said, I think my favorite thing to come out of this whole thing, in this discussion, is Miyamoto's comp. Because that's about how it fucking feels at this point.
Yeah. Pevin says, I found myself wondering how much of this is intended and how much of it's like, well, this is how it worked out. How do we make the most of it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
yeah.
Because, like I said, I gotta be honest, I don't think... I know this term's been thrown around a lot lately, but it kind of fits here. I don't think they're playing 4-dimensional chess here. Like, that it's all some grand... Like, it's a Kaiser Sose moment.
That's why I think it's something as simple as being proud of having a product that is in high demand. I think they like that more than they like money. I'm not saying it's smart. I'm saying that's what I think it is.
But that's the thing, though. For them to have the fucking balls to turn around, but also be like, "We love you guys. Thank you so much."
What else are they supposed to say?
Just fucking go like they normally do. Don't say anything. I would rather, if you were to shit on my fucking doorstep, I would rather you just not be anonymous with it and I never find out or know the motive. rather than you send me a thank you note and be like, hey, thanks for letting me shit on your doorstep like that. I really appreciate it, man. Like, I'm thank you for supporting me in my shit stepping endeavors. I just want to say thanks. Like, that seems like a bigger fuck. Yeah, that seems like a bigger fuck you to me. It's like getting a raise at a company for a penny, and it's like, I'd rather you just have not give me. That way I could at least say that I didn't get one.
There's a certain level of understanding that I have of them being okay with their products being in high demand and not being obtainable. Like, I picture any type of scenario, not to say that we would ever be fucking dickholish enough to do this, but let's say that we, I don't know, made some sort of video and said, like, only 5 members of our community get to watch this video forever. Like, and then other people in the community are like, I want to see this video. Like, we would still say, like, thank you for you guys. Thank you for your interest in this video. Like, we would, I don't know. It just seems plausible that
this is the hardest I've ever seen you try to apologize for Nintendo. This is a real stretch.
So do you don't you honestly think that it's okay that they say, like, hey guys, thanks for being, like, I don't know. To me, that is beyond even just like normal marketing speak. That's how anybody would react. And something that someone wants that they can't have.
I wish I see your point. I just think it's a really shitty way to go about it.
I completely agree.
Yeah. Like, so there you have it.
There you have it, folks. We both agree.
There's our
we can still argue about
There's our hot take on this situation.
Very unexpected for Chainsaw 8.
Yeah.
To be pissed at Nintendo, and for me to say, to try to justify it, and then for him to call me an apologist. We did it, guys. Episode 75. We summed up 75 worth of episodes worth of arguments in one conversation.
Yep.
Let's move on.
All right.
While we're talking about Nintendo's success, wait a second.
What?
Let's talk about Rhyme's unsuccess.
Is there something else that was supposed to come there?
Nope.
Oh, all right.
All right, so I'm going to give a little bit of backstory on Rhyme.
Okay.
Rhyme was announced at Gamescom 2013 as a PlayStation 4 exclusive. Okay? It didn't show up again until Gamescom 2014 when they showed another trailer for it. Then, in I'm going to say either late 2015 or early 2016, after hearing nothing from them since Gamescom 2014, Sony pulled all the dev kits away from Tequila Works, the guys who were developing the game. Pulled all the dev kits away. We talked about this on a Prep 8 fucking year and a half ago. Pulled all the dev kits away and said, you guys cannot have this game. You can't have it. So then they decided to seek an alternative publisher. They got an alternative publisher. Now it's coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, all the things. So there is a thread on NeoGAF. We've talked about NeoGAF a lot, but it's basically just a giant message board of people who have, like, non-public domain email addresses. So, like, you and I could create accounts if we have Chainsaw 8 email addresses.
Yeah.
But you can't create one with a Gmail.
It's a place where people go to pat themselves on the back, I find.
I mean, that's a big part of it. To me, it is the most, like, if there is a piece of video game news, if you want to see, like, I don't know, information about games leak, this is the first place it's going to pop up. Like, NeoGAF is the first source that you can go to for gaming news. You can find articles there, or information there that is literally, like, an hour before you can see it on any website. Just because that's where people congregate to get a lot of this information. Anyway, so there's an article, or there's a thread on NeoGAF that says, Rhyme Creative Director, reading NeoGAF made me cry for 2 days. So I'm going to read a little bit of it.
This is what I really hate about NeoGAF. It starts out with, we should really get better at chill.
Dude, the whole, and I guess we'll talk about that here in a moment, but the whole fucking thread, it's people being like, we really should be nicer. And
okay, we'll get to it.
It kind of reminds me of somebody being like, fuck Nintendo, and then still buy a SNES Classic. It's this thing where it's like, why don't you just stop saying, let's be nicer, and just fucking be nicer?
Nah, to me, it's not that way. It's the them trying to pat themselves in the back and be like, well, I didn't do it. No, I didn't do it. Look, I don't know who these people are making this guy cry, but like, guys, we collectively should be nicer, okay?
That's not cool.
It's like nobody wants to take responsibility, like, and that's NeoGAF in a fucking nutshell to me.
So here's what the dev says. He says, this is a quote that somebody captured from NeoGAF. I believe it's in an Edge feature. Edge is a magazine. Even so, if I had read NeoGAF at the time, the game probably wouldn't exist. I spent some time 6 months ago going through 2.5 years of comments on NeoGAF, and I was literally crying for 2 days. Partly because I just don't understand the cruelty, but more importantly because I could see those years over those 2 days, and I began to understand that maybe people can love something so much that they can hate it.
Yeah, like Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually a pretty good way to put it.
Yeah. So, to add some additional context, the game was revealed years ago, proof of concept. Then Sony pulled it like I just talked about. It says, development is going very bad. Every 2 weeks, Sony reps are at the office to make them hurry up. Tequila Works doesn't know what to do. They have stage 1 already. They have stage 1 ready, but testers say it's boring because there's only puzzles, no fighting. Only going from one point to another point to another solving puzzles. Second post says Sony gave them an ultimatum. They put money into it, and right now the game is meh. Third is just about how they filled up the PS4 memory and had to stay some days till 3 a.m. downgrading textures. Talking out shit. All this info comes from a source very close to the studio. It said, first of all, I was told that the reveal trailer was all cinematic. It was fake to mimic gameplay, assets, etc. from a real game, but 0% of the game was implemented. So the real challenge for the studio was to put the vision into the final game. Which, by the way, that shit happens all the time. Like, Kojima is like a huge, I guess, criminal of this. Like, he posted something on Twitter yesterday that said, sitting down to write Death Stranding. Motherfucker is writing Death Stranding. We've seen 2 trailers for it. He's writing Death Stranding right now.
He's probably still writing it.
Yeah, he's probably still writing it, but I guarantee you when that first teaser came out, he wasn't writing shit.
I mean, okay.
I'm not mad at him. I'm not. No, you don't have to defend him.
There are plenty of things that don't make it. Like that's not uncommon.
No, that's the point I'm making.
Now, when it's a complete misrepresentation of the product, sometimes that's a little fucked up. Like the whole bullshots thing. But like bullshots where they show like Watch Dogs, and that was super downgraded, and they showed all these things you could do, but you couldn't. Yeah. Like that's one thing, and then there's just like, hey, conceptually, this is the theme of the game, this is the reveal trailer. You know, most games change. Like that's pretty standard. So
sure.
Yeah,
it is. I don't hold anything against them for doing that.
No. Especially when you're fucking pushed by Sony to have shit to reveal at E3.
Right. The words are a direct quote from my source about this news and the studio itself. Sony required about 1 month ago the dev kits to be returned and canceled the fundings into Tequila Works due to the game had no sense. Basically, there wasn't a game. So yeah, general idea here is when all that news, all that information started pouring out, the game dev read through Neo 2.5 years of a thread on this and cried for 2 days.
I just don't see why you do that. First off, it's like if you were lucky enough to avoid it that whole time to begin with. Like
stumble across NeoGAF and you're like, oh.
They better go look up and see how much shit people are talking.
We say that, but like, if there is a thread about how shitty Chainsaw Ape is, would you not read it?
I don't know. I'd like to hope that I wouldn't, but I probably would.
I definitely would. I'd read the shit out of it. And then I'd probably cry for 2 days. This guy says, but we're usually so nice. These are comments. What did I say here? Sad. The real world is an ugly place.
Oh.
And he means it like I'm reading it sarcastically, but he's not meaning it sarcastically.
I know these.
This guy says, "This kills my heart." Sad face.
Makes me lose faith in humanity, bruh.
This guy made a good comment. He said, "I'd be more concerned if reading Gaff didn't make you cry." Right.
So, yeah. What are your thoughts?
It's okay, Midge T. No one could tell you were crying because of those stylish glasses. Why do you think I started wearing them? Because people couldn't tell I was crying. A lot of people have said, speaking of April 20th, a lot of people have said that they thought I wore glasses because I was always high. Nope.
Nope.
I'm not.
I don't know why he wears the fucking glasses.
It's my calling card. It's the same reason this motherfucker thinks that wearing all black is okay.
But I do this every day. Like, I don't put this shit on for the stream.
No, you go back to like streams from 6 months and before. You had your red polos. I mean, your red button-ups and your green
I still wear
shirts.
blue ones and stuff. It depends on what I have. But I've been able to. Why are we discussing wardrobe to this extent? Okay.
Because it brought up about the glasses. I always figured it was because of the bright lights. Nope.
So, yeah, fucking no news here, really.
My general thoughts on it are like, number one, I guess it's kind of a sad story in terms of like someone being personally affected by things that they're reading on the internet. And number two, of course he is. Like,
yeah,
we all would be. People do not like to be negatively criticized.
Well, dude, it's especially when you're doing something like creative.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like for someone to single it out specifically and be like, "This shit fucking sucks."
Like if I was to say,
it sucks. Like, it's not great. But I mean, it happens.
Your games you should have played, the one with the Donkey Kong Party. That Donkey Kong Party sucks.
No, I mean, I can objectively look back and say, yeah, it didn't really fit the theme thematically.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I think a lot of it didn't work because all the actors did terrible,
Sure.
myself included. If you get a chance, go back and watch it. Very cool video, but that particular part sucks. But there is an emotional, you have a response to it, but there's an emotional feeling that inside of you when I say that particular thing.
It's more, not because it sucks, more of a regret. Like, yeah, because I agree with you.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think that that's the deal with him too. He probably like looks back on all these decisions, all these things that went poorly over the last 2 years. And I was just like, well, fuck. And like the game testers are pissed at Rhyme because they're like, it's boring. There's no fighting. But like the whole purpose of the game is to solve puzzles. It's a game where you run around this island and solve puzzles like The Witness.
yeah, which...
So you're just like, it comes this question of like, either A, you're not getting my vision, or B, my vision sucks.
I mean...
No, you just don't get it.
Like that's probably one of the worst things you can be told about like a piece of art that someone like when I mean art, I mean specific media, is that it's just boring. There's nothing to it because it's like, okay, well, there's no real like.
The purpose of this thing is to entertain, and the opposite of being entertained is to be bored.
Yeah, like you can hate it and then still be entertained, like Tommy Wiseau's The Room or anything like that. Things, yes.
Although I did fall asleep a couple times.
Well, yeah, sure. But, like, the worst anything can do is be mediocre, though.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, that especially fucking sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, kind of bummed for the Tequila Works dude. At the same time, I think the only thing that really kind of chaps my ass about this are all the comments. And I'm not particularly saying like...
Well, because people are finding a way to pat themselves in the back.
Yes.
And be like, but this wasn't me, though. Like, well, it very well fucking could have been. Like, that's just typical fucking NeoGAF. It's people being really shitty in specific ways to certain groups of people, and then never taking responsibility or finding a way to be at fault. Yeah. So that's why like, I fucking hate NeoGAF. Like,
love it.
I just... There you go.
I mean, I found this on NeoGAF while looking for things to talk about.
Indeed, now we're talking about it with very little opinions.
It says you hit the nail on the head. Hope this dude bounces back with a sick game. I'll let you guys know. It comes out early next month.
I mean, this could be a sick game. Who knows?
Or could be fucking
It's based on Eco and Shadow of the Colossus, so it's already kind of not up my alley. But
yeah. It's like a combination of The Witness, Wind Waker, and like Eco.
So you got one thing in there that I personally like. Yeah. I'll probably be giving this one a pass.
I'll let you know.
But
picking it up on the Switch, which by the way is more expensive on the Switch.
Of course it is.
Because it's to offset the development cost for cartridges.
Really now?
It's not the topic, so we won't stick into that. But yeah.
Yep.
Let's move on. Hope his next game is a survival horror game about message boards, right? Get Mr. Shifty. I mean, Swifty.
You got it, man. On PC.
Okay,
Yeah.
so here's the general idea. I'm going to read Nintendo Life's article because I feel like they do a good job of summing everything up. The title, written by Damian McFerrin, is Mr. Shifty Devs Tackling Frame Rate Issues After Initially Suggesting You Should Pick Up the Steam Version over the Switch version. So they're working on fixing the issues, but I want to read you the thread specifically of between the Team Shifty Twitter and customers' Twitter. So they reach out to him and say, any plans to fix the frame rate on Switch? Watching YouTube videos showing a lot of frame stuttering. Team Shifty says, we're doing what we can. It's early on the platform. Remember that even Zelda stutters.
Yeah, it does.
It does, but like...
And Mr. Shifty fucking slows down bad.
It does.
Very bad on Switch.
The patch has either just come out or is about to come out to fix it, but I've already beaten the game. I don't intend to. Actually, I might go back and play it again one day, but not anytime soon, because it is a hell of a lot of fun. And then he responds by saying, Zelda's a massive open world game. Mr. Shifty most certainly is not. Also, Zelda is nearly a locked 30 after the latest patch. And then Team Shifty says, we're also a very small team. Compromise the experience by cutting stuff out of drop frames. We chose the latter, hoping Unity improves. So Bruiser says, so you're not feeling too confident about improvements via patch? I'd really like to give you guys my money come Friday, but frame rate stutters in an action game like this are a big turnoff. Team Shifty says, there's always the Steam version, smiley face. And then Bruiser Bear says, don't have a PC that can run it. Strictly a console kind of guy, smiley face.
Man, fuck Bruiser Bear, that dude. Very annoying fella. So, anything to change the frame rate? Well, we're gonna try. I'm gonna give you my money come Friday. I was thinking about it. You gonna... It's like, what do you want from them?
I did not read you correctly. I just knew in my heart that you were gonna side with Bruiser and go against the devs.
No, because
I totally am on Bruiser's side with this.
No, I gotta be on the dev side with this one. I don't think they probably wanted to release, especially if there's a patch coming out this soon, they probably did not want to release it as is on Nintendo Switch. Secondly, to compare the two to Zelda, this says, to me, more about the Switch as a platform rather than the game on it. Considering Nintendo has been at work in development on their own native hardware, and it still stutters.
Draco DITS nails my belief on this. Sounds like a lot of excuses blaming everything other than the coding. Which I'm not necessarily saying it's the coding. What I'm saying is, remember Zelda stutters. Like, why would you even, like, throw Zelda under the bus? Like, this isn't about... It's like when you go to fire someone. I don't know if you've ever been in that type of situation. And when you go to fire them, they just keep telling you about what everyone around them is doing wrong. They're like, why are you firing me for this? This guy's doing this, and this guy's doing this, and this guy's doing this, and this guy's... Like, that's not what this is about.
So...
This is specifically about this.
Yeah, look at it this way. When you have a game, right, and you have multiple... Okay, here's a couple examples. When you have a console, let's put it that way, that every single thing on it has horrible frame rate issues.
Does everything on it have horrible frame rate issues?
On the Switch? Yeah.
I think you're talking a little bit more confidently than you actually know.
Well, maybe I am. But let's just take there's the flagship title, right? Which they couldn't even get to run on their native hardware reliably, unless they recently patched it. Okay, so at launch, same thing that's hitting this team here. Yeah. Yet they do have an established title somewhere else on a different platform that runs fine. So at that point, to me, it doesn't say, well, this game's shit. You know, the optimization on this game's shitty, or the coding's fucked. It seems like there's a problem with the Switch and people developing for it. That's what I get out of it.
This is such a weird thing for you to say. It seems like you would be so anti-dev here.
Well, when they've proven that they can make a game
because I've heard
fine,
you call devs lazier for less.
I just think they're being fucking honest on this one. That they're having problems getting it to run correctly on the Switch. And them saying, look, if you want to... That's the facts. Like, we cannot get this to run, at least at the moment, reliably on Nintendo Switch. If you want to play our game at the most optimal performance, there's Steam.
So, when Don Matrick announced the Xbox One, and they said, hey, there are some soldiers over here that want to play the Xbox One, but they can't because the Xbox One's going to always be online. And he said, that's okay, there's always the 360.
That's two separate things, though. One is it is a can and cannot scenario. One is, if you want the optimal version, here it is. But in the meanwhile, like, yeah, we're trying. Like, I don't know what else you'd want them to say in this scenario.
Which you say everything you said except for go buy the Steam version, and this happens on Zelda too. Well, like telling somebody to go buy it on a different platform, like this, I don't know. That's just not very like not solid business acumen behind the idea of being like, yeah,
well,
just don't buy it.
Perhaps it is. Honestly, I didn't even know this game was on PC until a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's that angle. Like, it was marketed to me as a Switch game. That's where I'd seen it played. That's where I'd seen it previewed.
Yeah.
That's where I'd seen the adverts. So yeah, honestly, like, I haven't bought it on Switch yet. But there's a reality somewhere out there where I bought it on Switch and then went, fuck, I didn't even know it was on Steam, and I just didn't find out. So I mean, there's that. That might be a common thing. I don't know.
So,
the thing is, what I think they're trying to say without saying it is that Switch is natively difficult to develop for.
that's absolutely what they said.
But they're not saying that.
I mean, they're not saying that verbatim.
Yeah,
but they're saying even Zelda has frame rate issues. Hopefully, Unity improves. Go play it somewhere else. Like, to me, that's saying that it's difficult to develop for.
Draco says, I'm not saying the Switch doesn't have any issues of its own, but they don't address the issue as being themselves in any way. Everything they say is that it's someone else's issue. Well, I mean, that's fair. But then again, like, we don't know if it is their issue. It could be literally just how the Switch handles Unity. Like, it could be a lot of things we don't know yet. The only thing I can say for sure is that everything that I've played on the Switch, personally,
Which is
has
what?
lagged. Let's see. Even fucking Metal Slug, the emulated Neo Geo one, Breath of the Wild, and there was one other game that I have on there. All three have had like pretty shitty frame rate dips. It's kind of strange that I don't feel like they should, especially Zelda, considering that's like.
No, I think Zelda having
hardware.
frame rate issues is a. As someone who like the frame rate issues, even in Mr. Shifty, didn't bother me. Like, it didn't make the game unplayable for me or anything like that.
I don't think it makes it unplayable. No.
But it's never a huge issue for me when games have frame. Like, the original Legend of Zelda is one of my favorite games ever, and that game is nothing but a giant frame rate issue. So personally speaking, frame rates never bothered me. With that being said, like, I think The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, their flagship title, launching on their brand new console, I think it is unacceptable for it to have frame rate issues. Completely unacceptable. So, I think it'll be easier to tell after more things come out for the Switch from different studios. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't know. Just like saying to go buy a different version of the game, to me, is just like such a slap in the face.
See, I guess we're just looking at it from two different perspectives. Like,
every single thing that we do, you and I do, is look at things from different perspectives.
Sure, but specifically in this one, I don't think they're saying, hey, tough shit, buy it over here. That's not what I'm getting from that. What I'm getting from that is basically they're a smaller team.
Fascinating.
Yeah, they're a smaller team who basically, I would almost say, kind of got, like, they needed the Switch deal to probably even create this title. The money from Nintendo to also
Absolutely.
publish it. So
they did.
Yeah,
They definitely did. And then, like, the fact that you said that you'd never even heard of the PC version, like, think Nintendo was marketing money for that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like,
so
Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct and featured this game in their Nintendo Direct. And when you go to their storefront, this game is advertised on their storefront. So,
right.
Yeah. So, yeah, don't bite the hand that feeds by telling them to go buy a different version.
Well, why not? If the Switch is just like doesn't work well with Unity or you know, like has problems with performance, but you already signed, dude. You didn't. Okay, you think that they got the dev kit and were able to know that its shit wasn't gonna fucking work adequately before they signed on and were held contractually? Fuck no.
I think that they can, like, don't get me wrong. I know that every single game there are two things that they have to deal with: budget and time. Everything that exists has a budget and time constraint. Everything, at least creatively speaking. So I absolutely think that they were under a certain level of pressure for these items. 100%. But in the same token, like, if your thing is not ready, then tell people it's not ready.
Yeah, tell Nintendo that.
Yeah, tell Nintendo that.
Don't think that would have worked well.
I mean, we don't know.
And
we can't say for sure.
Yeah, that's what I said. Don't think it would have worked well. As we can see probably here.
And let's say it doesn't work well. Don't tell somebody to go buy another version of the game.
I don't think they're saying go fuck off. I think he legit was just trying to provide an alternative. Look, I'm not saying he couldn't have said sorry. I mean, shit, yeah, like, sorry it's not working right now, we'll do what we can. In the meantime, hey, look, if you haven't bought it yet, which the guy said he hadn't, it runs just fine on Steam if you want to try it over there. Like, I don't see the crime in fucking saying that.
It's all in context. It's all in how
I
it's
guess
delivered.
it is.
And by starting your thing out by saying, like, well, Zelda has frame rate issues too.
Like I said, I think they're trying to give a reason as to why, just without saying it.
It's so wild to me, like, this is the first time that you've ever been, like, a puzzle for me. Because normally you're such an easy person to read. Mm-hmm. You know what is going to trigger you. And my assumption is that this would trigger you as an consumer and even anti-Nintendo thing to say. But I guess your first response was this Bruiser Bear guy, man, he sucks, or something along those lines. I'm like, what? This guy just...
So,
this is
the only way I think it would have been anti-consumer, especially in this part, had they said, yeah, we're explicitly said, yeah, we're not working on it. That's what it is. And by the way,
they didn't say that they were working on it.
Yeah, but I said explicitly said they weren't.
We're doing what we can.
Yeah, there you go. Like, that means they're probably looking to fix something to deploy a patch. Like, you know, who knows? Maybe they're not. Maybe that's just marketing speak for, if I say we're doing what we can, you'll go away in time, and then we can fucking move on and do the next one.
But all things considered, they are releasing a patch. It's getting patched. With the frame rate issues.
Yeah, there you go. Then I don't really see that it's anti-consumer, especially when the guy hasn't bought it yet. And they're saying if frame rate's a big deal,
I think it's more anti-Nintendo. I think it is unprofessional to say, well, don't buy this version, go buy that version.
I'm really not concerned about Nintendo's feelings.
And I think you know, this puzzle that I'm trying to solve, I think that's the solution to the puzzle, is that you're like distaste or discord towards Nintendo means that you're like, oh yeah, I feel you, dev. Like, I hardly ever see you on a dev's side with anything, but if it's Nintendo we're talking about here, I didn't say I never do. I said I hardly ever.
Well, because most of the times it's not devs we're talking about, it's publishers. Like, we're talking about, like, Bethesda and the review embargo shit. Like, that's why a lot of times it looks that way. But no, if there's, like, legit issues or legit reasons, yeah, I'm not just fucking blind to
Even
those.
Zelda has frame rate issues. Ugh.
Well, yeah.
It does.
To me, it's saying, like, hey, even if Nintendo can't get their own shit to work, how the fuck are we supposed to? Like, that's what it reads, but they can't say that.
That's exactly what he's saying.
No, they can't say that. But that's what it's meant to read as, yeah. And I fully kind of fucking get that.
Yep. The puzzle has been solved.
Has it?
Yeah, you're just anti-Nintendo.
No, I'm not. Well, I'm anti-Nintendo business-wise. Not. It's kind of like Disney when it comes to, like, love Disney products, love, you know, Star Wars, whatever, Kingdom Hearts, whatever, you know, they're franchises, but they're one of the worst fucking companies, business-wise, I've ever fucking seen, as far as, like, how they treat consumers and IPs that way. And that's kind of how I feel about Nintendo. I love everything they do when it comes to their content.
Yeah.
Everything on the business side, I absolutely cannot fucking stand. Kind of the same thing there.
Okay. Let's move on.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see.
Hopefully Unity gets better, right?
I think he means that sarcastically in the way that hopefully Unity's compatibility with Nintendo Switch gets better. Which, maybe that's all bullshit. We don't know. Like, I don't know how the fuck it is to develop a game on Unity and try to put it on Switch.
We're sliding nicely into the next topic. Nintendo Switch 28 days later. So I'm going to read a little bit of stuff. We're going to do some numbers first, and then we can get into our opinions. Which we don't even really need to do that either. Because we already know your opinion.
Yeah?
It's a shitty console with shitty frames.
That's not true. I think it has great potential. It's just it has a little bit of a rocky start. Not sales-wise.
No, definitely.
But as far as offerings games-wise and, you know, a couple issues here and there. A little bit of a rocky start, but I think it can and will be a console to remember. Yes.
So this comes from Jonathan Dornbush at IGN. He said, Nintendo's revealed that the Switch has sold 906,000 units in its first 28 days on sale in North America, according to the MPD Group. Breath of the Wild, meanwhile, has sold 1.3 million copies.
It's fucking bizarre.
Across Switch and Wii U in that same window. 906,000 Switches sold. 925,000 units of Zelda were sold for the Switch.
Oh, okay.
No, still.
It's still kind of weird.
Yeah, it's the most fascinating thing about this whole thing to me. 460 of them were sold on 460,000.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So 925,000 copies of Zelda and 906,000 units. That means they sold 19,000 units of Zelda for Switch, and they haven't sold that many Switches.
Yeah.
What's your theory behind that? I have a couple.
One thing is resellers, I guess. People thinking that it was going to be a hard-to-acquire title on a physical version.
Or there were 3 different versions of it. There was a Master Edition, a Collector's Edition, and a regular edition.
Or it could be people buying
4 if you count digital.
It could easily be people buying all 3.
Yeah.
For collector's purposes.
Yep. So,
Or
I think it was collectors, resellers, and I think, like, I kind of fit into the collector's criteria. I bought the digital version, but I want the physical version as well. I still haven't bought it yet, but I have a physical version of, like, every Zelda game in its box with the manual and everything like that, so I want to make sure I have that Switch version and that Wii U version. Wait, does it include Wii U versions? There were total 1.3 million copies of the Breath of the Wild sold. 1.3 million. 925,000 of them were for Switch. 460,000 of them were for Wii U.
Yeah, but still a, like 26,000 surplus?
Yep.
So yeah, that probably explains it.
According to Nintendo, it makes the Switch one of the fastest-selling video game systems of all time. In the days following the game and system's March 3rd launch, Nintendo released statements saying that the Switch and Breath of the Wild broke sales records in the Americas and in Europe, but didn't offer exact numbers. Early reports suggested that they sold 1.5 million units. So worldwide, we're guessing about 2 million have sold.
Which is only limited by their stock, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bunch of them have started coming in stock, so.
I see. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have much
in
to
terms
say
of
about
numbers.
that
I
one.
mean, like
It's doing well.
Yeah, I'm happy for them.
It's only doing as well as how much they can produce.
Yeah,
so that's
absolutely.
a good thing.
Which I hope that's a good sign from a publisher standpoint. Excuse me, of publisher saying like, "Hey, let's release this console in other places. Like, let's show some love."
I think you misphrased that.
Release games.
Yeah. Okay.
On the Switch is what I meant to say. Sorry. Like if a big publisher like EA, right now they have FIFA coming to it, but seeing how well that it's doing, it may give them reason to push, other products. Sure. They may have teams working on it. So.
I mean, there's a lot kind of at play here. I mean, one is that it is, like the amount of units sold, whether it's worth their time to port or make new games. 2, it's definitely going to be how easy. This goes back to the thing it is to develop for the Switch, which we haven't heard a lot about yet from third party.
I've seen a lot of different things. Like,
there's been some things.
The Snake Pass dev said he got Snake Pass running on it within a week.
Yeah, I saw
from
that.
the time he got a dev kit to the time.
But as far as like a lot of the larger publishers, like that's kind of what I'm looking to see. Because the whole reason this might turn into quite literally like an EA scenario where they started out on it and then said like, okay, it's not fucking worth it for how much we have to kind of port it, and also the sales, so fuck it.
Well, a lot of times, like in terms of the Wii, for example, since that was a lesser powered console similar to what we're dealing with Switch versus the current competitors, they had to make different versions of their games. So like Call of Duty,
I
Madden,
remember that shit.
All of that stuff are different versions of games that we got on the Wii. So that's not even just a port. That is an entirely different dev team. So the cost of that dev team, is it worth it? It's the chicken and egg scenario of, there has to be enough. They have to sell enough units to make it worth it to develop games for. And if there aren't enough units out there in the wild, then it's not worth it for them at all. So.
So yeah, well, good for them. Like I said, I do think it's
a good sign.
Great potential. We'll have to see how it actually plays out, though.
So,
not to have a non-opinion, but it is virtually 2 months. I mean, we're still in the
March 3rd
extreme early launch period. So
absolutely, yeah, time will tell for sure. So let's talk about what do you think of the Switch in general? Like, I know you've played 3 games on it.
Thing is, like, I would just love to have more shit to play on it.
Yeah.
I wish the fucking Virtual Console was out. That is like my biggest thing on there, and it's like it kind of is to some small degree. that you can play Neo Geo games on there.
Yeah. But even those...
But it's just fucking
I
strange
think
that...
Fatal Fury came out today for it.
Out of all things that you can put on there, Neo Geo games, like, wait, wouldn't hit there first.
Yeah.
It's like, unless they have some sort of grand reveal incoming at the Nintendo Treehouse or whatever for E3 up with, like...
I think they will.
Yeah.
Some people are speculating that Virtual Console will start in May, but I don't think
I've heard that, but...
Because May is, like, such a dead month. Like, the biggest title releasing for Switch in May is that Ultra Street Fighter thing. Ultra Street Fighter 2, whatever, Championship Edition thing.
See, I'm afraid it's going to be just like the last ones. All the last consoles, which was... Like, yeah, it goes from NES all the way up to 64. This one will probably go to GameCube.
Yeah.
But on each one, outside of, once again, Neo Geo, there's like 11 titles. I'm afraid. No,
I have about 100 Virtual Console games on my Wii U.
Yeah, but that's about between like all of them. Yeah. So I'm afraid that it's gonna. I'm afraid that it's gonna happen the same thing. I don't think because like we don't know, and that's where like the potential is so exciting that they really could get like not everything, but at least all licensed Nintendo games.
Yeah.
Which I'm just afraid they're not going to. I feel like I'm putting it up there, getting too excited about it, and it's gonna be another like here it is. Another missed opportunity as far as like what they could sell, what they could put out.
No, that's inevitable. Don't get your hopes up.
Yep, and that's what I'm most afraid of. But yeah, we'll see.
Don't be afraid. Oofta.
Oofta indeed.
Oofta indeed.
So yeah, I play my Switch as much as I can.
Yeah,
but I've kind of run out of shit to play on it. So just looking for.
So this is the first
stuff.
week. So it's kind of a good week for me to talk about this. Is like this is the first week that I'm not playing my Switch a minimum of an hour a day. I have 14 games on it. I've played it quite a bit. Like I played through Snake Pass, played through Shovel Knight Spectre of Torment on it, Mr. Shifty, Zelda, Bomberman, like a plethora of things on it. And I fucking love the Switch. But this week in particular, Wonder Boy came out and I started playing it. I'm like, I'm not really. It's beautiful, but I'm not really feeling it.
Wonder Boy? The fuck is that?
It's a Nintendo Switch.
Is it exclusive to Switch?
Maybe like temporarily. It's like a hand-drawn art style. It's a remake of a Sega Master System game.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty cool. It has the ability where you can like swap back and forth between the Sega Master System visuals and these visuals, and you can change the music as well. But it's like it kind of reminds me of Shantae. Did you ever play Shantae?
Yeah.
It's like a side-scrolling adventure game, and you just like go through these different doors into different levels. Dang, I like the shorts today, Jay. Appreciate it, above man. DKP's dressing hot and heavy for you.
Better believe it.
But yeah, love my Nintendo Switch. But this is the first time I'm like, dang. And then next week we're getting Mario Kart, which is great. But I've already spent a fuckload of time with Mario Kart already. Like,
yeah.
I'm really excited about Battle Mode. We'll definitely be doing some Battle Mode streams and stuff when it comes out. So, Wonder Boy is one of the better looking titles on the Switch store I've not picked up. Bummed to hear it's mediocre. Personally speaking, most people are giving it like pretty solid reviews. It's floating between the 7s and 8s, which is what Snake Pass and Mr. Shifty floated in, and I adored both of those. So,
yeah, 7 and 8s is good.
Yeah. What I've talked about it a little bit before, but my favorite thing about the Nintendo Switch is how much I didn't realize that I cared about being able to play something in a handheld format. Like I had the Wii U, so I would have those scenarios where I'm playing it on the couch while my wife's watching TV. But now I can like pick it up and take it upstairs with me. I literally take it with me everywhere. I haven't been to work without it one day yet since it's come out. And I go and I play it on my breaks or my lunches. Went to the movies and played it at the movie theater. Like, just the ability, like waiting for the movie just set in the theater. It was awesome.
Very nice.
Just the ability to take it with you and play it anywhere. There's like a certain level of freedom that it gives you now. And even with how quick, that's something else that it doesn't get enough credit for, especially in terms of previous consoles. Like the screen, the main menu, loading the eShop, everything is so much quicker than it's ever been before. I would say it is on par with current gen consoles, which it shouldn't necessarily be commended for being on par. But considering Nintendo has never, like, historically been really good at loading up a store or loading up alternative games or anything like that.
That's a funny thing to say, but yeah, it's true.
Even sleep mode, like
that's one of the like how seamless that is.
Yeah.
I think is great.
Like
because that kind of ties into Peviv's thing, where he said we've been impressed, we're frustrated by the battery life, which
hasn't been an issue for me yet.
For me, it's not an issue, but I'll say this: whenever I'm playing it undocked, it's constantly in the back of my mind as far as like, okay, how long is the rope I'm about to hang myself with where I have to fucking put it back in?
Yeah.
And it's like I haven't ran into a part where it's ever died on me, but like it's always at the back of my mind when I'm playing it off the dock.
Yeah.
Just like exactly how much battery I'm using.
I'm in and out of games constantly. I haven't plugged my Switch in at all today. It's been in sleep mode the entire day, and it's at 96%. It's been has not plugged in at all. It's just been sitting in my case. 96% while in sleep mode. So.
But there are alternatives to battery things coming out, aren't there?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that.
And I have whenever I was going to go to LA, I bought like an external battery charger. So if I was on the plane, because I was playing Zelda a lot at the time, and you know the what they say is that it lasts about 2.5 hours, and it was a 3-hour flight. So I'm like, if this thing dies while I'm playing,
what am I gonna do?
So I got an external battery charger for it. For like $20, which is not the best one in the world, but it'll at least keep it from dying a little bit longer.
So yeah, that's the Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
Anything else?
I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what they do. I'm super stoked for a new Mario game. I'm excited for ARMS.
I'm more excited about than anything.
Yeah. I think
which
this
I assume
year,
we'll
E3,
see some at E3.
Yeah, I think we're gonna Rabbids game is gonna get announced. That Mario RPG Rabbids crossover. I think we're gonna hear about a new Metroid within the next 6 months. Just because like Reggie said that thing where he's like, people keep telling me about Metroid. He's like, talk to me again in a year. You remember when I read that?
Yeah, I'll believe when I see it though.
I mean, that's fair.
And also like, I'll believe it.
It's not Federation Force.
Well, no, not that. But I'm more worried that they're gonna keep going with like a Prime direction rather than like giving a 2D one, which I think they need.
Hopefully
to do.
they do. Both,
I think we're overdue.
Prime. We got Prime and Fusion all on the same day.
That would be nice. That way everyone's happy. But I mean, I don't think they're that confident in that title anymore to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Shit. So yeah. Anything else on the Switch?
Nope. That wraps this up.
I suppose it does, doesn't it?
Yep. More Samus. That'd be cool. Remember, you guys can go to chainsawype.com to see all of our things, get all the links to all the things. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can watch Prep 8. All the old episodes all the way back to episode 1, except for like episode 48. We have a lost episode.
Yeah.
Follow us on Twitter to see when we go live. Join the Facebook group and you can have conversations with us. Yep. And then we have gear available at cafepress.com/apeshop.
Yeah, and also we'll be back tonight in about 35 minutes with Rick and Morty VR, which just came out today. Yep. It's like I said, normally we'd be back in 30 minutes. Give us an extra 5 because
it's going to be some VR setup.
Yeah, which is a little bit difficult. So yeah, but we'll be back on a little bit later. And we'll let you guys, you'll see us then. Yep. So anyways, I suppose that's it. Let's go ahead and close this out so we can get the rest of our stuff kind of going. And yeah, we'll see you guys here in about half an hour.
I'm H-Tom.
I'm DKP. And yep, see you later, fellas.
Bye-bye. You didn't turn it off.
No, I know. I just wanted to see you keep waving. All right.